Hello everybody. Today I would like to give you a demo of a library I recently downloaded called Electronic Expanse. Electronic Expanse is for free. You do need the full version of Kontakt, version 5.1 or higher, to be able to play it, and it contains 76 instruments and 20 multis. Now before I talk about what Electronic Expanse is and does, I want to talk a little bit about sound design, because sound design is where I grouped Electronic Expanse. If you think about sound design, you're probably thinking about impacts, risers and downers, drones and atmospheres. Those are all very typical elements of a sound design library. And what's also, or at least what I also like to have in a sound design library, is synthesizery sounds, synthesizer kind of sounds that have, or that should have at least, an arpeggiator and an ADSR filter. And that's exactly what Electronic Expanse has. If you hear the sounds themselves, so after I downloaded the library and I installed it, I started playing the sounds and I was not very impressed. It sounded like an old-fashioned synthesizer. And then I noticed that it had the arpeggiator and the ADSR filter, and I started playing around with those, started tweaking the sounds a little bit, and that's what really adds the value, especially for a free library. That really adds a lot of value to it. So sound design is all about filling up your track with little details that make a big difference, because if you take them away, those little details, you do hear that the track has less body, it has less excitement and so on. I must admit that what I used of sound design before was more those typical risers and downers and some atmospheres and drones. That's what I was usually using. But then it was actually Daniel James who made me aware of the fact that also by putting these little arpeggiated synthesizery sounds here and there or in the background to support your track makes a big difference. So I kind of pushed myself in the beginning to use that type of sounds, and I still have to do that. It's a process I'm getting a little bit used to. Now in my Kontakt you can see that I have two icons. One is called Orchestral Elements, the other one is called Cinematic Sound Design. Those are two icons. I don't know how else to call those thingies. Those are two icons that I created myself. So all the libraries that I buy or download and that don't have this type of icon, I put them under either cinematic sound design or orchestral tools, depending on where they fit better. If you've seen my previous video, I talked in my previous video about dark drones. Now Electronic Expanse, they are both cinematic sound design type of libraries. In my next videos I'm going to talk about a few other ones that also fit in the sound design area. So I'll advise you a number of libraries or patches that all together form one nice sound design library. I do have to say that for myself, I decided to buy a while ago, I decided to buy Project Alpha and Project Bravo of Hybrid 2 because they have everything, and they're the best libraries. I mean, for me personally at least. I did a lot of research before buying them, and in the end I decided to go for Project Alpha and Project Bravo. But I'm still happy to have these extras that I'm discussing today and in other videos, because sound design type of sounds, you can never have enough of them. In any case, for those of you who are beginners or who don't have any sound design libraries yet, or if you want to have some more sounds, these videos ought to be interesting. I hope they are. So enough talking, let's play some sounds. I'm going to first illustrate a few sounds with the arpeggiator and the ADSR filter, but then for the rest of the video I will just play the sounds as they are. Of course, like I mentioned before, they sound, or they are more interesting in combination with the ADSR filter and or the arpeggiator, but since I'm not using screen capture software, it's very difficult for me to show you all that. The first sound I want to play is called crispy bass. I will first play it the way it sounds normally, and then I'm going to put the arpeggiator on it. Okay, now I'm going to play the same sound with the arpeggiator on. So as you can see in the rhythm section, I've selected 16 steps. You can go up to 32. So of course, since I've selected 16 steps, I have 16 bars that I can drag up and down to control or to fix the velocity. Also, don't forget when you're using the arpeggiator to turn it on. At the top left of the interface, you can see there under global settings mode. That's where you turn the arpeggiator on or off. By default it's off, so if you want to turn it on, you have to click with your mouse in the area of that button and then move your mouse up, and you have to go quite high up before it turns on. So don't think it doesn't work, just move that mouse up higher. So here's the crispy bass with arpeggiator. Okay, I guess you get the idea. Sorry I cannot be more clear. It's because, yeah, with the screenshots I cannot really show you how to create a rhythm or a pattern there, but it's very self-explanatory, so I'm sure you'll figure it out. Okay, the next sound I'm going to play is called Ambient Cello, and here I'm going to illustrate with that sound. I will first play it normally, and then I will show you how it sounds with ADSR. So before, on certain sounds, you will notice that if you put the arpeggiator, it doesn't really match the sound with the arpeggiator. But then when you start tweaking the sound with the ADSR filter, it may turn out very differently. So keep that in mind. Put the arpeggiator on it. If it doesn't sound nicely, then tweak the ADSR a little bit. If you don't know what ADSR stands for, it stands for attack, decay, sustain, and release. What you'll be playing with, especially the attack, it will be, especially if you're using the arpeggiator, the attack will be on 0, and you'll be playing mostly with cutoff, attack, and resonance. So here is the ambient cello without ADSR first. Okay, now with the ADSR filter, I'm going to start with the attack. Needless to say that I have the arpeggiator on. That's why it sounds the way it does. Yeah? That's why you hear the rhythm and not just the sound long. Okay, so that was the attack. Now the resonance. So if you play a bit with the attack and the resonance at the same time. Okay, I hope you get the idea. Maybe ambient cello was not the best choice to illustrate the ADSR filter. Yeah, but I hope this convinces you. Okay, the next sound I want to play is called full orchestra strings. From now on, I'm just going to play the sounds the way they are by default, so I'm not going to play with the ADSR filter or the arpeggiator anymore. So, full orchestra strings. Okay, the next one is called Boiler Room Voices. Next one is called Evolving Strings. Moon Sweep. Modulating tuba. And the last one I want to play for you is called Voice Realm. Okay, that's it again for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you next time.